Hey, so in this video, I'm going to talk about how to write proper and effective marketing copy, which is the description of your Facebook ad, Instagram ad, YouTube ad, or TikTok ad from scratch. All right, so the first thing is you always want to model what already works. There's no reason to start from scratch. If you know something generates results, all you have to do is build on top of that foundation that's been built for you. Okay, so in our company, in our agency, the ads that we've written for our clients, they've consistently generated results for our physical therapy clients. We work with over 80 of them, and our ads consistently produce new opportunities and new potential plan of cares for anywhere between $5 to $25 on average for our clients. So, and here's the template or the model that we like to use for our clients. So when you're writing the marketing description, there are two things you have to consider first before even writing that description. The first thing is the creative, which is the video or the photo that you're going to use for the ad. That has to be something that is intriguing, that stands out, that grabs attention. You don't want something that's boring, because obviously it's going to just be a waste of money if people don't click on your ad and they don't stop scrolling on Facebook or Instagram. Okay, so you have to think about the context that you're placing your ad in. Facebook is a social media platform where people go to when they're bored to check in on their friends and see how they're doing. So your creative should look like something that one of their friends could post on Facebook, and that would grab attention. Okay, so usually what we like to do is use videos of someone getting manual therapy or patient testimonial or a branding style of video where we showcase the clinic, and we talk to some therapists and we show off their personality, and we build trust in that video. So there's three types of ad. You can either be intriguing or grabbing attention, you can show a patient testimonial, or you can brand and build trust in that video, or an image that just stands out and is very kind of shocking, kind of like how most newspaper headlines do it. It's kind of clickbaity, but it works. It gets a lot of clicks, it gets a lot of attention, and when you have someone's attention, that's when you can actually sell them and talk about your product or service, why it's good, and eventually get them to take action. So that's number one. You got to have your creative taken care of. Number two is you got to have an irresistible offer, right? The more irresistible your offer is, the better it is, the easier that it's going to make your marketing. If you have a really bad offer, there's nothing that you can do on the marketing side to make up for that, right? So some of the offers that have worked well for us in the past include free pain screenings for the patients. The reason that works so well is because there's no risk on their side, and they get to actually come in and experience what it's like to potentially work with you. They get to see the facility. So free Q&A sessions, phone consultations, like a free ebook or a video guide, something that they can download to learn more about your services and how you can potentially help them. Those would all work as well. Anything that's unique in your industry that nobody else does would also work. So consider those things: an irresistible offer and making sure that it's unique and no one else in the industry has offered it before. That'll get a lot of results in terms of marketing. So now that you have those two bases covered, now is when we're actually going to move on to the marketing section and writing the copy for the description of the ad. Now, a big mistake that I see a lot of physical therapy marketers or clinic owners do, especially like big brands, what they'll do is they'll write an ad, and Facebook, they'll give you the opportunity to write 1,500 to 2,000 words on the description of the ad. And I've seen some ads where people only put one or two sentences in the ad, right? Something like, hey, if you want to stop your pain, please click or call here now. That's such a waste of space. When you've actually taken the time to get someone to click on your ad, you have their attention. Once you have someone's attention, now is your opportunity to really sell them and to convince them of why your product or service is really good, why they should work with you. Talk about some testimonials or stories that you've had in the past. Okay, so please take that time to actually go in depth and write as much as you can, because you already have your attention, and it's going to be such a waste of money if you don't take advantage of that space. All right, so you have 1,000 to 1,500 words to write. So what do you actually write? So here are a couple things to keep in mind when you're writing the description of the ad for Facebook or Instagram or any of these social media platforms. What you want to keep in mind is that the first sentence, you want to be able to pull them in and sell the next sentence. All right. So I would usually start off with a big, bold claim. Something about how we've helped X number of patients solve this problem without medication or surgery, or put a very prominent testimonial in that first sentence. So a big claim, patient testimonial, or something unique about how your clinic solves problems with your particular service or product. I would use either one of those two sentences to start off the ad, because that first sentence has to sell that second sentence, right? So if there's no benefits, or if it's not intriguing, then why should anyone continue to read more of your ad if you already lost their interest in that first sentence? So whatever you write, make sure it's interesting and it's intriguing and it makes them want to read the next sentence, and so forth, right? So that second sentence, again, it has to be able to sell that third sentence, and so on and so forth, until they get all the way to the end of your advertisement and they've read everything about your clinic and what you have to offer, how many people you've helped, the experience that you have, the special techniques, or what makes you different from other clinics, the patient stories and experiences they've had with you. You have to include that in all of the sentences in between the ad, okay? So make sure each sentence continues to sell the next sentence. The second thing that you want to make sure you do in the marketing copy is to ensure that you're writing in a very conversational tone, okay? Basically, marketing copy is essentially salesmanship in print. It's like you're kind of having a conversation with someone and you're selling someone, but instead you're doing it with words. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3 is to try to keep it as simple as possible. Most people have a very basic and rudimentary understanding of the English language. So when you write it, make sure you write it so that a 5th grader, 10-year-old can understand what you're saying and they can grasp the meaning of your ad and what you're trying to convey, right? The last thing is to include things like testimonials, patients that you've helped, bold claims. One big thing that's really important is patients take action when they feel understood, right? So you really have to get into the conversation of your patient's pain and experience that they're having. You should know exactly why they're looking for physical therapy, and you should find a way to incorporate that into the ad. So if most people come to you for physical therapy because they're injured and they can't get back to playing sports, again, a sentence that you can include in the marketing copy should be something like, we know how painful it is to not be able to play your favorite sports again after a shoulder injury, right? So make sure you are inside your patient's head when you're writing this marketing copy, and you're tailoring what you're writing to what they're thinking about physical therapy. Use that to your advantage. Use the conversations that you have with your patients on a daily basis to that advantage. Understand them on a very deep level so that you can actually write marketing copy that is tailored towards what they're thinking. Okay. And the last thing is, when you're done with the marketing copy, you're done talking about, the benefits of your clinic, what makes you guys different, testimonials you have, stories you have, the techniques that you use, all of that. When you're done with all of that, make sure that you close it off with a very powerful and, again, a very irresistible offer, right? Now that you've had your chance to sell them, to pitch them, to convince them of your services and why they should take action, now you want to give them a very easy and straightforward next step that they can take, right? Something where they don't have a lot of risk and they can get massive benefit. That's the best way to create an irresistible offer. All right, so include that in the end. Have them take action on that. If there's a way you can add a guarantee, and if there's a way you can add some scarcity to it, that will make the offer even better. So maybe say something like you're only working with 10 new patients this week or something. That's a form of scarcity. That's just one example. A guarantee could be something like, oh, we're going to guarantee you answers on the first visit of what's going on. And it's just a play on words, right? So that is how we write marketing copy in our agency. And again, don't make the mistake of only writing one or two sentences, because when you're running an ad, you're paying money for that ad. The end result should be to see a return on your investment. The end result should be to educate potential patients on your business, your clinic, your philosophy on how you treat patients, and build your brand and your awareness. All right. So if you're going to pay for that space, make sure you take advantage of it and you have as much information as possible. Okay. Thank you guys so much. Again, if you have any comments, leave them below. Any ideas on what you want me to talk about, or any marketing questions that you have, let me know. I'll be happy to answer them.